What is going on, guys? It's Hank from Sprues and Brews, and the book of Boba Fett is here. I just finished watching episode 2 on Disney Plus, and it is so good. And it inspired me to break out my 1/12 scale Bandai Boba Fett figure and upgrade him a little bit. I made him this whole set of robes and tunic out of an old t-shirt and some hot glue in less than 2 hours. Super fun project, super user-friendly. You don't need too much material at all. Should be able to make it with stuff you've already got kicking around the house. And if you're feeling the Boba Fett hype like I am, this is an awesome project for you. So, you guys know the drill by now.
Grab yourself a drink, get cozy, let's check it out.
Alright guys, so here's our figure without any clothing added. I built and painted him up in 2020 after The Mandalorian Season 2 came out, and that's why he's already in his new black gear. If you haven't checked out one of these Bandai kits before, they're all snap fit, pre-colored parts, so you don't actually need any glue or paint to complete them, which is nice. That said, I think they do look a lot better painted up, and you can really improve them that way. The first thing I did here was completely take the figure apart so that we could work on all these pieces separately. Fortunately, I only damaged one piece trying to make everything come off, so you might notice a small crack on the chest armor later in the video. To make the clothing itself, I sacrificed an old black t-shirt to the scale model gods here, and I cut off a few decent sized pieces for us to work with. We're going to start with the legs. Here I'm just roughly measuring out how much material I'm going to need for a pant leg. No need to be precise here because they're baggy robes, but better to leave a little excess. Measure twice, cut once, right? Here you can see the sizing is pretty good, and you can still flex the joints, which is exactly what we want. Before we start gluing, I use this piece as a template for the other legs, so we have two. To seal the pant leg, we're going to roll over one side and add a little bit of hot glue. Then we're going to fold the other side in and create a little tunnel, a little tube here. We'll want to run the glue all the way down this seam as well to make sure everything is sealed up nicely. The great thing about hot glue is it works super quickly, and we can just pick off any excess we made once it all cools. Now that we've got our little tunnel, we can slide the leg right down in there. I used some tweezers to help because the fit was a little tight at the top there, but no worries. Now we're going to trim the bottom of the pant leg. Just use your finger and feel where the actual plastic stops. I tried to leave a little bit of excess on the bottom to cover up the ankle joint when we attach the foot. Now we're just going to pop the leg right back into the hip joint here, and you can pull the pant leg up to adjust accordingly. Now we can pop our foot right back into place there, and we can pull the pants down a little bit to cover up that joint. Check it out, we're already starting to look pretty solid. Now you can see on the other leg here that there's a hole in his kneecap area to mount that small piece of knee armor. So we're gonna have to feel around a bit and try and find that hole and use our hobby knife to cut a small hole in the pants. We can do a little test fit here and pop our armor into place. And that looks pretty good. Fits well, and everything still flexes the way we want to. We're going to repeat that exact same process with the other leg, and we can attach that as well. Moving on to the lower part of his robes here, I'm using a piece from the bottom of the t-shirt that has this stitch across the back. I think it looks kind of cool, but you can really use whatever part of the t-shirt you want. I'm going to do a test fit around his waist and see where I need to cut this to size. And that looks pretty solid, so we're going to trim the length as well. Note on the upper half of the robe, I'm leaving a little bit of excess so that we can tuck that under his torso and help create a seamless look. Now, just like we did for the knee armor, there are a couple of mounting holes for his belt and utility pockets, so we're going to feel around and cut a couple of holes for those using our hobby knife. We can then snap those pieces into place, and it's going to hold this lower piece of the tunic on without any glue or anything. We can reattach our knee armor now, and another cool trick here is you can tuck bits of the robe behind the knee armor to help pull everything in. It makes it look a little less flowy, and I think it improves the look a bit. Moving on up to our arms, we're going to do pretty much the exact same thing that we just did for the legs. We're going to roll the arm in a piece of fabric to test the sizing and cut to create a tunnel using our hot glue. Once that's complete, we can slide the arm right into our new sleeve. We'll trim to length again, leaving a little bit of excess so we can tuck his forearm gauntlets up under the sleeve once we attach those later. Next, you'll notice this little protrusion here. That helps mount the shoulder armor into place. So we're going to cut a small hole in the sleeve and stick that piece right through it. Now, to replicate the layers that Boba has on his new uniform, we'll need another couple of fabric loops here. This piece was scrap that I cut off the bottom of the pant leg, and it worked perfectly for this purpose. We're going to slip this right over the top of the shoulder joint, and we're going to add a dot of hot glue to hold it in place. We're also going to cut that same hole that we made for the shoulder armor mount, and we're going to pop that through this second layer as well. Now we can attach the shoulder armor itself. And we can also pop on the forearm gauntlet. That is going to wrap up our arm assembly, so we're going to want to do the exact same thing for the other arm as well. Moving up to the torso, we're going to make a really simple poncho. We'll do a little test fit and cut this piece to size. We want to have enough material to completely cover the torso and still leave a little bit of excess on the bottom that we can tuck underneath where it meets the waist. We'll connect the poncho with a bit of glue on either side, making sure we glue the front side overlapping the back side to help hide that seam. The first thing we're going to do with our poncho is cut a quick X-shaped hole in the neck area, and this is going to help us attach our head later. To attach the chest and back armor, we'll need to make some holes in the fabric that line up with these guide holes in the sculpt. We can do that by just feeling around with our hobby knife to locate the holes and then cutting a small slit. Then all you need to do is snap the pieces into place. We're going to repeat this process with all the other armor components as well. It's a little tedious, so go slow and take your time. Alright, looking good. Now we just need to tuck any of that excess on the bottom of the poncho underneath the torso. We're going to cut a little hole to pop through that waist ball joint, and then that's going to help give us a nice clean look when it connects to the lower part of the body. With that done, we can now reconnect the torso to the legs. We can also reattach our arms. Next, we'll attach the head. You can create a little neck wrap for him using some scrap fabric in the exact same method we did for the sleeves and the pants. We can also reattach the hands at this point. The nice thing about using t-shirt fabric for this project is that the figure is still posable, but now all the joints are covered, and he looks a little less like an action figure. And our very last step today is going to be to cut some holes in the back of the fabric here so we can attach his jetpack. And here is all of our completed clothing. Let's give him a quick 360. I had a ton of fun with this upgrade, and I really liked the way he came out here in his brand new Book of Boba Fett garb. It was a super quick one-night project using all stuff I had around the house, and it didn't cost me a dime, which is always nice. If you don't have this kit, it's a super hot commodity on Amazon right now with the Book of Boba Fett just coming out. I did see some available today, so I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to check it out. I'll leave some links to other Bandai kits as well if you want to take a look at those. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for more awesome scale modeling content. And if you give this a go on your own, please let me know in the comments below how it goes. Alright, so that's it for me today, guys. Until next time, be well, happy building, cheers.